So, my name is Rosa. I'm Mexican. I live in a little town surrounded by nature. And I would have thought, I'm not going to get cancer. I eat very healthy. I have a good life. I have a spiritual life. And yet I did. And it was actually one of my biggest um, gifts that life has given me. So, this started about 2 years ago. I was diagnosed triple negative breast cancer. They're the cancers with the most metastasis and they grow faster. I'm also a homeopathic doctor and I know a lot about, you know, naturopathy. And so I chose not to do um, conventional treatments, no surgery, no chemo, no radiation. In the beginning, for a few months, for like 8 months, 6 months, I did a lot of um, natural treatments, and then I learned about Zhineng Qigong. So in October, I went for a very intensive 3-week course in a wonderful center called Anyang Center, where we both learned the theory, but mostly did a lot of practice. And when I left, my tumor, and this was certified by my doctor who did all the ultrasounds, had decreased by 40%. So I continued to do a practice more or less and to eat very healthy, no meat, a lot of raw food, no sugars. And then I heard about the Anyang Center. So by then, I did have a lymphatic node in my armpit, and that had been growing, and that was not so good because these cancers can do such tremendous metastases. So I was invited by Rocio, who's like an ambassador to Zhineng Qigong in China. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. We all have so much to thank for. And there, so she invited us to this course from the Anyang Center, and it was very intensive. And I think not even 2 weeks into the course where I noticed that the lymph node in my armpit began to diminish because it was so external. I could feel it so much. It was very obvious that it was diminishing in size more and more and more. And then when the course ended, I went to get an ultrasound again. I could have gotten it earlier, but I said, no, let me do the full thing. And the doctor was very surprised. He kept searching and searching. And what he kept saying is there's no more blood cells. Now, cancer tumors are very rich in blood vessels, not cells, blood vessels. And there was none. So that was a big surprise. I thought it would just be much smaller, and that's why I couldn't feel it anymore. But there's just little fibrous, cells like scar tissue. My experience with Zhineng Qigong from the beginning to now, but more and more is the internal practice. I mean, it's like it is not exercises. It's a practice where you open the chi channels and you stretch and you open and you make space. And that same space you make with your mind. So your mind opens, your centers open, the chi flows, and you know that you have a body and you don't have a body, that you're empty and you're not empty. And it is in this practice that we have such a profound psychic, mental, and spiritual transformation. It's easy to say that we are energy, but to begin to feel it is something different. And when you know that your cancer disappear without taking any medication, then you know that this energy thing has to be true, because that was the only thing that was different, that was moving the tumor away or shrinking it or making softer, as we used to repeat ourselves constantly. And there must be a, a ground of joy and cheerfulness and trust in ourselves and in the chi when we're doing the practices and when we're focusing. So that's what happened to me. And like I said before, I am glad for the cancer because it led me to Zhineng Qigong. And I'm glad to Zhineng Qigong because it leads me to be a better person, a more whole person, and a person that can make a difference in the world. And that I can, and part of this, of course, is sharing this wonderful experience. And I had it, but anybody can have it. It's not a random thing. You need to work on your emotional stuff. And oftentimes when you're doing the exercises, it just comes out. The unconscious comes out. You look at it, you revise it, and then you let it go. So that's my, what do they say? My 10 cents or whatever. That's my little contribution.